Welcome to my channel. Today, we are diving deep into one of the biggest hidden operations in modern sports history. We all know about the giant soccer clubs in Europe, but what if I told you that the United States has secretly executed a multi-billion-dollar master plan to build the most expensive, dominant soccer team the world has ever seen? This isn't just about buying players. It's a massive geopolitical and economic blueprint. Let's uncover the secret behind America's ultimate soccer empire.
For decades, the global soccer community looked at the USA with a sense of amusement and perhaps a bit of disrespect. They called it soccer while the rest of the world called it football. They watched American fans prioritize basketball, baseball, and American football. To Europe and South America, the U.S. was a soccer retirement home, a place where aging superstars went to collect a final paycheck before hanging up their boots. But behind closed doors, in the high-rise boardrooms of New York, Miami, and Los Angeles, a silent, calculated plot was brewing. The Americans weren't ignoring soccer. They were waiting for the perfect moment to buy it out entirely. The awakening began not on the pitch, but in the financial ledgers of Wall Street. American billionaires realized that soccer was the most watched sport on earth, yet it was severely undervalued in terms of commercial exploitation compared to the NFL or NBA. If they could apply the aggressive, profit-maximizing mechanics of American sports franchises to global soccer, they could monopolize the market. But they couldn't just build a great team overnight. They needed an ecosystem. The secret blueprint relied on three specific phases. First, the systematic acquisition of European powerhouse clubs to learn the inner workings of the global transfer market. Second, the massive influx of private equity cash into domestic infrastructure. And third, the creation of an irresistible financial vacuum that would pull the world's greatest talents toward the American continent. It started quietly. FSG took over Liverpool. Glazers controlled Manchester United. Bowley bought Chelsea. To the untrained eye, these were just separate investments by wealthy individuals. But in reality, it was an educational crusade. The Americans were studying the beautiful game's economy, identifying its vulnerabilities, and preparing to launch their own weapon on home soil. They discovered that European clubs, despite their history, were financially fragile. They operated on massive debts and chaotic wage structures. The U.S. saw an opportunity to introduce a highly disciplined, hyper-capitalist model that would outfinance anyone. The ultimate goal was never just to own European clubs. It was to siphon the prestige, the methodology, and the elite talents back to the United States to build an untouchable domestic empire.
While Europe was distracted by financial fair play regulations and internal political battles, the United States began constructing the physical and digital matrix of its secret soccer empire. You cannot host the world's most expensive team in outdated stadiums or unoptimized markets. Major League Soccer, once viewed as a secondary league, was systematically re-engineered. Tech giants and private equity firms moved in like wolves in tailored suits. The turning point was the involvement of institutions like Ares Management and Silver Lake. These aren't sports fans. These are multi-billion-dollar asset managers who specialize in economic domination. They poured billions into state-of-the-art, soccer-specific stadiums across the country. These weren't just venues, they were entertainment hubs equipped with data tracking technology, biometric analysis labs, and luxury spaces designed to attract elite investors and high-net-worth sponsors. Simultaneously, a massive digital revolution was taking place. The U.S. soccer apparatus realized that broadcasting rights were the true lifeblood of modern sports wealth. In a move that shocked traditional media, they secured a historic 10-year global broadcasting partnership with Apple TV. This wasn't just a local TV deal, it was a borderless digital network that instantly put American soccer into the pockets of billions of people across the globe. Every match, every piece of content streamed flawlessly without regional blackouts. This gave the American system a direct financial pipeline to consumers worldwide, generating an unprecedented steady stream of liquid cash. European clubs relied on fluctuating TV deals tied to local economies. The U.S. created a global tech-driven revenue engine. With infinite infrastructure and a global broadcasting monopoly in place, the trap was set. The Americans now had the money, the venues, and the global reach. All they needed was the ultimate catalyst, the faces that would make this expensive machine the absolute center of the footballing universe. To build the most expensive and powerful team in history, you need more than just money. You need absolute legitimacy. And in the world of soccer, legitimacy has a name: Lionel Messi. When the news broke that the greatest player to ever walk the earth was leaving Paris Saint-Germain, Saudi Arabia offered him a literal mountain of gold, over $1 billion. Traditional European clubs begged him to return, but the United States activated a secret alliance that no single football club in the world could ever match. They didn't just offer Messi a salary, they offered him a piece of the entire American economic pie. The deal was an unprecedented collaboration between Major League Soccer, Apple, and Adidas. Messi was granted a percentage of revenues from new international subscribers joining Apple TV's MLS Season Pass. He was given a share of profits from Adidas's jersey sales, and most importantly, he was handed an option to own a percentage of an MLS franchise upon retirement without paying the astronomical expansion fees. This wasn't a player contract, it was a corporate merger. Overnight, the market valuation of Inter Miami and the collective worth of the league skyrocketed past billions of dollars. The world watched in disbelief as the center of gravity of global soccer shifted from Barcelona and Paris to a sunny city in Florida. But Messi was just the apex of the pyramid. The secret plan used his presence as a gravitational force to pull in an elite supporting cast. Suddenly, World Cup winners, legendary midfielders, and the most promising young talents from South America weren't looking at Real Madrid or Manchester City. They were looking at America. The spending was massive, but it was disguised beautifully through clever corporate structuring, making it look like a romantic sports story when it was actually the most expensive corporate takeover in athletic history.
If you think the American secret plan was only about signing aging superstars, you are completely missing the masterstroke. The real wealth of a football empire lies in youth, the Wonderkids, the future Ballon d'Or winners. While the media focused entirely on Messi, Busquets, and Alba, the U.S. scouting apparatus was quietly deploying a multi-million-dollar dragnet across South America, Africa, and Eastern Europe. They created a specialized initiative known as the U-22 Initiative. This was a calculated financial loophole designed to bypass traditional salary caps. It allowed American teams to sign young, elite international players under the age of 22 with virtually unlimited transfer fees, while only counting a fraction of it against the official budget. Suddenly, teenage prodigies from Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia, who usually migrated to clubs like Benfica, Ajax, or Monaco, were boarding flights to the United States. The pitch to these young stars was irresistible. Come play alongside the greatest legends of all time. Train in billion-dollar facilities
get massive global exposure on Apple TV, and use the US as the ultimate, highly funded launching pad for your career. The American clubs weren't just buying individual players, they were buying out the youth pipelines of entire nations. They established high-tech academies within the US, importing top-tier tactical minds from Spain and Germany to train domestic prodigies alongside these international Wonderkids. By blending the raw talent of global youth with the tactical discipline of European coaching and the infinite financial backing of American capital, they began to synthesize a super team, a squad that possessed both unmatched marketing power and terrifying youthful athleticism on the pitch. In Europe, the biggest threat to any wealthy football club is UEFA's financial fair play regulations. Clubs like Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain face endless investigations, legal battles, and potential point deductions for their massive spending. European football is chained by its own laws. But the United States operates in a completely different legal and economic dimension. The architects of the American soccer empire built a system that is entirely immune to European restrictions. The secret lies in the single entity structure. In the US, the league owns all the player contracts collectively, and the team owners are investors in the league itself. This legally protects them from antitrust laws and allows them to distribute wealth, sponsorships, and commercial benefits in ways that would be highly illegal in Europe. When an American team needs to sign a $50 million player, they don't just rely on the club's bank account. They activate third-party commercial guarantees, tech sponsorships, and real estate development deals tied to the stadium zone. A player isn't just paid to kick a ball. They are paid as brand ambassadors for real estate conglomerates or tech giants associated with the ownership group. This completely detaches the player's true cost from the sports team's official financial books. European clubs look at the official transfer figures and assume the Americans are spending moderately. What they don't see are the massive, hidden offshore equity deals, the cryptocurrency partnerships, and global merchandising shares changing hands in private Silicon Valley offices. The U.S. didn't break the financial rules of global soccer. They simply created a brand new game where those rules don't exist, leaving traditional European giants completely powerless to compete financially.
Every secret operation has a deadline, a specific moment where the curtains are pulled back and the full power of the machine is revealed to the world. For the American soccer conspiracy, that moment is right now, in 2026. This is the year of the FIFA World Cup, hosted on American soil. The most expensive, high-tech, and star-studded soccer ecosystem ever built is finally stepping out of the shadows to claim its throne. The investments, the stadium builds, the tech alliances, and the signing of global icons were all leading to this exact flashpoint. The United States has successfully centralized global football. The newly expanded FIFA Club World Cup and the International World Cup are turning America into the absolute epicenter of sports entertainment. The team they have assembled, a terrifying mix of elite global icons, heavily funded South American prodigies, and highly disciplined domestic superstars, is no longer a project. It is a dominant reality. The traditional powers in Madrid, Munich, and Manchester are looking across the Atlantic and realizing they have been outmaneuvered. They thought they were protecting their sport from oil states, but they failed to notice the silent takeover by American capitalism. The U.S. didn't just build a highly expensive team, they built an entire self-sustaining economic empire
that controls the culture, the media rights, the youth pipelines, and the financial mechanics of modern football. The era of European exclusivity is officially dead. The beautiful game now speaks with an American accent. This was the most expensive, calculated, and beautifully executed secret in sports history, and the world can only watch as the American soccer superpower takes its place at the very top of the world.